Welcome to all. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrutyam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udiret Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Nishta. Hare Krishna. We're continuing Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 9, the passing away of Bhishmadeva, Shloka number 41 and 42. Muni Ganan Rupavarya Sankule Antah.
Muni Ganan Rupavarya Sankule Antah.
Sadasi Yudhiṣṭhira Rājasūya esham.
Sadasi Yudhiṣṭhira Rājasūya-yajña.
Arhanam Upapeda Ikṣaniyoho.
Arhanam Upapedah Ikṣaniyoho.
Mama Drushi Gochara Esha Avihi Atma.
Mama Drishi Gochara Esha Avihi Atma.
Tam imam aham ajam sharir bhajam.
Tam imam aham bhajam ajam sharira bhajam.
Rudi Rudi Tishtatam Atma Kalpitanam.
Rudi Rudi Dishtitam Atma Kalpitanam.
Pratidrusham evana ekada arkam ekam.
Pratidrusham evana ekadharka ekam ekam.
Samadhigata asmi viduta bedamoha.
Samadhigatah asmi vidhuta bhedamoha.
Muniganan rupavarya sankule antah.
Muniganandrupavarya sankule antah.
Sadasi Yudhiṣṭhira Rājasūya esham.
Sadasi Yudhiṣṭhira Rājasūya-yajña.
Arhanam upapeda ikṣaniyo mama.
Arhanam upapeda ikṣaniyo mama.
Drushi gochara esha avi atma.
Drushi gochara esha vyatma.
Tam imam aham ajam sharir bhajam.
Tam imam aham ajam sharira bhajam.
Rudi Rudi Tishtatam Atma Kalpitanam.
Rudi Rudi Dhishtitam Atma Kalpitanam.
Pratidrusham eva na ekada arkam ekam.
Pratidrusham evana ekadharkam ekam.
Samadhigata asme viduta bedamoha.
Samadhigatah asmi vidhuta bhedamoha.
Muniganan rupavarya sankulyantah. Sadasi Yudhiṣṭhira Rājasūya esham. Arnam upapeda ikṣaniyoho mama. Drushi gochar esha avi atma. Tam imam aham ajam sharir bhajam. Rudi Rudi Tishtitam Atma Kalpitanam. Pratidrusham eva na ekadharkam ekam. Samadhigata asme viduta bedamo.
Muniganandrupavarya
Hare Krishna.
sankule antah. Sadasi Yudhiṣṭhira Rājasūya-yajña. Arhanam upapeda ikṣaniya. Mama drushi gochara esha avihi atma. Tam imam aham ajam sharira bhajam. Rudi Rudi Dhishtitam Atma Kalpitanam. Pratidrusham evana ekadharkam ekam. Samadhigatah asmi vidhuta bhedamoho.
Sridhar Prabhuji, please read.
Hare Krishna. Muniganan
Hare Krishna.
Rupavarya Sangulendam Sadasi Yudhiṣṭhira Rājasūya-yajña. Arhanam upapeda ishaniyo mama drishikosara yesha avir atma. Tam imam aham ajam sarira bhajam. Hridi hridi drishtam atma kalpitanam. Pradishtitam iva naikadyam ekam. Samadhigato smiti vidatu beda mogaha. Hare Krishna.
Ashish Prabhuji, please read.
Hare Krishna.
Ashish Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Munigana Nirpavarya Sankule Anta Śrī Rājasūya esam arhanam upapeda ikṣaniyo mama drishigochara esa aviratma tam imam aham ajam sarira bhajam hridi drishtitam atma kalpitanam pratidrisham eva naika adharkam ekam asmi viduta vedamoha. Hare Krishna.
Krupamai Mataji, please read.
Thank you, Mataji. Munigana nirpa varya sankuli nirta sadasi Yudhiṣṭhira Rājasūya-yajña arhanam upa veda ikṣaniyo mama drishigochara iva aviratma tam imam aham ajam sarira bhajam hridi dishtitam atmakalpitanam pradishtatam iva naika darkam ekam samadhi kato asmi viduta beda moha.
Translation and purport by the Srila Prabhupada, Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. At the Rājasūya-yajña sacrifice performed by Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira, there was the greatest assembly of all the elite men of the world, the royal and learned orders. And in that great assembly, Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa was worshipped by one and as all as the most exalted personality of Godhead. This happened during my presence, and I remembered the incident in order to keep my mind upon the Lord. Now I can meditate with full concentration upon that one Lord, Śrī Kṛṣṇa, now present before me, because now I have transcended the misconception of duality in regard to his presence in everyone's heart. Even in the hearts of the mental speculator, he is in everyone's heart. The sun may be pursued differently, but the sun is one. Purport by the Srila Prabhupada, Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. After gaining victory in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira, the emperor of the world, performed the Rājasūya sacrificial ceremony. The emperor in those days, upon his ascendance to the throne, would send a challenge horse all over the world to declare his supremacy, and any ruling prince or king was as liberty to accept the challenge and express his tacit willingness either to obey or to disobey the supremacy of the particular emperor. One who accepted the challenge had to fight with the emperor and establish his own supremacy by victory. The defeated king would have to sacrifice his life, making a place for another king or ruler. So Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira also dispatched such challenging horses all over the world, and every ruling prince and king all over the world accepted Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira's leadership as the emperor of the world. After this, all rulers of the world under the regime of the Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira were invited to participate in the great sacrificial ceremony of Rājasūya. Such performances require hundreds of millions of dollars, and it was not an easy job for a petty king. Such a sacrificial ceremony being too expensive and also difficult to perform under present circumstances is now impossible in this age of Kali, nor can anyone secure the required expert priesthood to take the charge of the ceremony. So after being invited, all the kings and great learned sages of the world assembled in the capital of Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira, the learned society, including the great philosophers, religionists, physicians, scientists, and all great sages, was invited. That is to say, the brāhmaṇas and the kṣatriyas were the topmost leading men in society, and they were all invited to participate in the assembly. The Vaishyas and Shudras were an unimportant element in the society, and they are not mentioned herein. Due to the change of social activities in the modern age, the importance of men has also changed in terms of the occupational position. So in the great assembly, the Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa was cynosure of neighboring eyes. Everyone wanted to see Lord Krishna, and everyone wanted to pay his humble respects to the Lord. Vishmadeva remembered all this and was glad that his worshipful word, Lord, the personality of Godhead, was present before him in his actual formal presence. So, to meditate on the Supreme Lord is to meditate on the activities, form, pastime, and fame of the Lord. That is easier than what is imagined as meditation on the impersonal feature of the Supreme. In Bhagavad Gita 12.5, it is clearly stated that to meditate upon the impersonal feature of the Supreme is very difficult. It is practically no meditation or simply a waste of time, because very seldom is the desired result obtained. The devotees, however, meditate upon the Lord's spiritual form and pastime, and therefore the Lord is easily approachable by the devotees. This is also stated in Bhagavad Gita 12.9. The Lord is non-different from his transcendental activities. It is indicated also in this shloka that Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa, while actually present before human society, especially in connection with the battle of Kurukshetra, was accepted as the greatest personality of the time. Although he might not have been recognized as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the propaganda that a very great man is worshipped as God after his death is misleading, because a man after his death cannot be made into God, nor can the personality of Godhead be a human being, even when he is personally present. Both ideas are misconception. The idea of anthropomorphism cannot be applicable in the case of Lord Krishna. Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa is one absolute supreme personality of Godhead, but he has expanded himself into his multi-plenary portions by his inconceivable energy. The conception of duality is due to ignorance of his inconceivable energy. In the Bhagavad Gita 9.11, the Lord says that only the foolish take him to be a mere human being. Such foolish men are not aware of his inconceivable energies. By his inconceivable energy, he is present in everyone's heart, as the sun is present before everyone all over the world. The Paramatma feature of the Lord is an expansion of his plenary portion. He expands himself as Paramatma in everyone's heart by his inconceivable energy. And he also expands himself as the glowing effulgence of Brahmajyoti by expansions of his personal glow. It is stated in Brahma Samhita that Brahmajyoti is his personal glow. Therefore, there is no difference between him and his personal glow, Brahmajyoti, or his plenary portion as Paramatma. Less intelligent person who are not aware of this fact consider Brahmajyoti and Paramatma to be different from Śrī Kṛṣṇa. This misconception of duality is completely removed from the mind of Bhishmadeva, and he is now satisfied that it is Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa only who is all in everything. This enlightenment is attained by the great Mahatmas or devotees, as it is stated in Bhagavad Gita 7.19, that Vasudeva is all in everything, and that is no existence of anything without Vasudeva. Vasudeva or Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa is the original supreme person, as now confirmed by Mahajan, and therefore both the neophytes and the pure devotees must try to follow his footsteps. That is the way of devotional line. The worshipable objects of Bhishmadeva is Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa as Parsarthi, and that of the gopis is the same Krishna in Vrindavan as the most attractive Shamsundar. Sometimes less intelligent scholars make a mistake and think that the Krishna of Vrindavan and that of the battle of Kurukshetra are different personalities. But for Bhishmadeva, this misconception is completely removed. Even the impersonalist object of destination is Krishna as the impersonal Jyoti, and the Yogi's destination of Paramatma is also Krishna. Krishna is both Brahmajyoti and localized Paramatma. But in Brahmajyoti or Paramatma, there is no Krishna or sweet relation with Krishna. In his personal feature, Krishna is both Parsarthi and Shamsundar of Vrindavan. But in his impersonal feature, he is neither in Brahmajyoti nor in the Paramatma. Great Mahatmas like Vishmadeva realize all these different features of Lord Śrī Kṛṣṇa, and therefore they worship Lord Krishna, knowing him as the origin of all feature. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवाञ्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्विताञ्च नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Hare Krishna. In these two shlokas describe about the difference between the who taking the shelter of Krishna and how Bhishmadeva taking shelter of Krishna, how they may understand that Krishna is the Param Purushottam. Prabhuji will tell us in detail. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram. Am I audible, Mataji? Hare Krishna.
Yes,
Am I audible clearly?
yes.
Hare Krishna. Thank you
Yes.
very much. So very wonderful shloka in continuation of praises by Bhishmadev about Lord Krishna and how Bhishmadev is giving different, reasons why he is ready to remember at all times. Well, that is what the final objective of a devotee is, that he should be remembering Krishna in some form or the other. While he prays the Parthasarthi form, today he is trying to explain how he remembers Krishna at the Rājasūya-yajña performed by Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira. Where it was
Hare
one of the
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Little is indistinct, Prabhuji.
Okay, am I audible now?
Voice is not clear, Prabhuji.
Yeah, it's not very clear.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Am I audible now
Now it
clearly?
is okay.
Yes, we
Now
are
it is
audible.
okay.
Now it is
Audible.
okay. Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you. So the Bluetooths don't work. The technology. I thought technology would be assisting today. So this was one of the greatest assemblies of elite men, the royal learned people who had all gathered. And in that gathering, Lord Krishna was worshipped by almost everyone. And they all accepted him as the personality of Godhead. Now, Rājasūya-yajña, you all know that the emperor, whoever goes to the throne as the emperor of the world, he would challenge everyone else. He would send a horse to declare his supremacy. And if someone who thinks that he is not okay with the person as the emperor, then he would capture the horse, express his willingness to disobey the supremacy, or he will accept the supremacy and give gifts. So this is how the Rājasūya-yajña used to be done, and Yudhiṣṭhira Maharaj did the same thing. And after this, all rulers of the world came under the regime of Mahārāja Yudhiṣṭhira and were invited for the Rājasūya-yajña. Now there, one important aspect which comes is that the learned society persons, that is the philosophers, religionists, physicians, scientists, sages, brāhmaṇas, kṣatriyas, they were all invited. So basically, they were the topmost leading men. And so everyone was there. And in that assembly, everyone was looking only for Śrī Kṛṣṇa. He was the cynosure of everyone's eyes. Everyone wanted to see Krishna. Everyone wanted to pay obeisances to Krishna because he was the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And everyone knew it. So what it indirectly means is, Bhishmadev is trying to tell us that to meditate upon Krishna means to meditate on the activities, form, pastimes, name, and fame of the Lord. The 5 things, which we called as AFP and F. Activities, form, pastimes, name, fame of the Lord. So, which is easier to do as compared to trying to meditate on the impersonal feature. In fact, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna himself says, Kleshaha adhiktarah tesham avyakta asakta chetasam avyaktam gatir dukham deha vadbhihi vapyate. For those whose minds are attached to the unmanifested, impersonal features of the Supreme, advancement is very troublesome. To make progress in that discipline is always difficult for those who are embodied. So Krishna is saying that the process of Gyan Yoga may bring us ultimately to the same goal, which is Krishna, but it is very, very troublesome. While a Bhakti Yoga, which is a process of direct service to Krishna, is easier and natural for the embodied soul because the devotees meditate upon the Lord's factual form and pastimes. And so the Lord is easily approachable by the devotee. So when this question was raised, Prabhuji gave a very simple example, like you would have cooked some vegetable today. Suppose you have cooked, say, potato sabji right now. So the moment I say potato sabji, immediately at your brain, you would have seen those potato shapes being cut and the sabji cooked, right? A personal feature. Now just try to imagine potato sabji in an impersonal nature. Would you be able to concentrate on it or meditate upon it? Not possible. So if something like a vegetable requires a personal form, here is Lord Krishna, who is Anadir Adir Govinda, who is the ultimate creator, who is the Parameshwar. So definitely he has a form. So concentrating on sabji which has no form and concentrating on potatoes broken, which is easier? Definitely the potatoes. So similarly, concentrating on a personal feature of Krishna is much, much easier as compared to thinking about the impersonal ways which the Jnanis try to do. And to make this further cleared, Krishna himself says in 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Atha chittam samadhatum na shaknoshi mai stiram abhyasa yogen tatha mam ichha aptum dhananjayam. My dear Arjuna, O winner of wealth, if you cannot fix your mind upon me without deviation, then follow the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. In this way, develop a desire to attain me. So see, in the first shloka he says, why your normal meditation will not work. And in this shloka he says that you have to concentrate on Krishna without deviation. But if you are not able to do it, then there is another way. So 2 processes of Bhakti Yoga are indicated. The first, where we have developed an attachment for Krishna by transcendental love. Second, where we have not yet got the attachment. So for second class, there are different prescribed rules and regulations which we can follow and get ultimately elevated to the stage of attachment. So how do we explain this? So Prabhupada ji says that the senses are always impure because we are engaged in sense gratification. But when we practice Bhakti Yoga, the senses become purified. And once they are purified, then in the purified stage, they can come directly in contact with Supreme Lord. So to practice regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga, Prabhupada ji recommends that we should be under the guidance of an expert spiritual master. So initially it can be a Shiksha Guru, and then we can have a Diksha Guru. We should follow certain principles like rising early in the morning, taking bath, going to temple, offering prayers, chanting Hare Krishna, collecting flowers to offer to the deity, cooking foodstuffs to offer to the deity, taking prasadam, and so on. One should constantly hear Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam from pure devotees. So, this practice can help anyone rise to the level of love of God. And then we are sure of making progress into the spiritual kingdom of God, because then we develop that attachment for Krishna. Now, Krishna, while actually present before human society, especially when we talk about the battle of Kurukshetra, at that time also he was accepted as the greatest personality of time. So that is why he is the supreme personality of God. And that Bhishma Dev had actually transcended all kinds of misconceptions of duality in regard to his presence in everyone's heart, even in the hearts of mental speculators. So the example which Bhishma Dev is giving is of the sun. So sun is there in the sky. So when in the morning we want to wake up, we tell the child, "Oh boy, baby, please get up." And the boy says, "No, mama, I want to sleep." He says, "See, the sun is coming." He opens, he says, "There is no sun." But then the mama says, "See, do you see the light?" Then he says, "Yes, I see the light." So it means the sun has come. So similarly, Krishna is everywhere. He is all pervading. Those who don't understand this presence of Krishna, they are all murkha. Avjananti mam mudam manushim tanumashritam param bhavam ajananto mama bhuta maheshwaram. So Krishna says that the fools deride me when I descend in the human form. They do not know my transcendental nature as the supreme lord of all them. So only foolish take Krishna to be a mere human being. Such foolish men are not aware of his inconceivable energies. By his inconceivable energy, he is present in everyone's heart, as the sun is present everywhere. So he expands himself as Paramatma in everyone's heart by his energy. And he also expands himself as the glowing emulsions of Brahma Jyoti, which is his personal glow. So we have to understand this, but only few can understand it. Bhaunam janmanamante dranvan mam prapadyante vasudeho sarvamiti sa mahatma sudurlabha. After many births and deaths, who is actually in knowledge, surrenders unto me, knowing me to be the cause of all causes and all that is. Such a great soul is very rare. So we have to understand this, that Vasudev is the supreme personal, original person, which is now confirmed by Bhishmadev, who is a Mahajana. And therefore, whether we are neophytes or we have started practice, we are trying to become pure devotees, we should try to follow in his footsteps. That is the way of devotional life. The worshipable object of Bhishmadev is Lord Krishna as Parthasarthi. That of Gopis is Sham Sundar in Vrindavan. Many times, less indigenous scholars try to make a difference between these two. But Bhishmadev, he knows that this conception is completely useless and it is removed for him. So great Mahatmas like Bhishmadev realize all different features of Krishna. And so they worship Krishna, knowing him as the origin of all features. And we should simply follow their footsteps. The moment we follow the footsteps of the Acharyas and the Mahajanas, then definitely we can also get the same knowledge. Hare Krishna.